Hello, and welcome to the Golden Hour podcast with your amazing host, Anna Gold. We hope you enjoy the conversation and learn something new. We have an amazing show planned for you today, and who knows, we might play a game or two. Ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, here she is, the amazing Anna Gold.
Everybody, this is my guest, Tommy Martin, a multi-hyphenate. I just learned that word. It means one who does multiple things in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, correct.
Cool. So, Tommy is an actor, a drummer, a producer, and you're a writer too, aren't you?
Yeah. I try to be.
But you started out as a drummer, didn't you?
Yeah, as far as the creative arts go, yeah, I started as a drummer. First started learning, per my grandparents' suggestion to learn, they wanted me to play them Wipeout, so I learned how to play that. And then it kind of grew from there. I just learned how to play by ear initially, just listening to a lot of bands, and then got into acting and filmmaking sometime thereafter.
Oh, that's so cool. Tommy, how did you transition from drumming into acting?
My very first acting experience was actually in high school. We were doing Sound of Music, and one of the other actors, I think he dropped out, but I ended up going on. I got to do that as a sort of a walk-on role of sorts. It was just smaller supporting character in the show. And then I didn't really do much else with acting until college when I met a bunch of filmmakers.
Oh.
Kind of started then, actually.
So you'd say you became a professional actor in college?
Well, I don't know if I'd call myself a professional actor that early on, just because when I first started, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But, you learn along the way.
Yeah. You do learn along the way. And I don't think that anyone knows what they're doing, no matter what chance they're given to start. I feel like if you're cast in a big movie and it's your first break, you're still learning.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're awesome as it is. You're welcome. I loved you in Haunt, and I thought it was really funny. At the very end, you were like, plus, you get free food.
Oh, but not the pizza place. They don't play ball.
Yeah, that's right. Where can we see that film? It's called Haunt?
It's called Haunt Season.
Haunt Season.
It's actually not available quite yet. Well, some of the crew is getting together next weekend, actually, to get together and record commentary for the movie, because the writer-director has actually been working on getting distribution set up for the film. So hopefully we'll have some news on that soon. But, currently it's not available to be seen anywhere.
Oh, not yet. But it looks great, and it's not meant to be scary, right? It's meant to be, funny scary?
I would say both. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what your level of scare is, you know? Kind of a throwback to how a lot of horror movies used to be really fun, and I mean a lot of them still are, but so much of them lean on gore and stuff, which this one has a little bit of that, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just a fun movie, honestly.
Oh, that's awesome. Another role that you did made me laugh from a while ago. Do you remember being in the movie 6 Rules with me?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how much I actually remember from that, but I mean, I remember being a part of it, absolutely.
Cool. I remember my dad came with me to the premiere, and my dad said, "Oh, that waiter character's funny." And that's you. So you got a compliment from the audience.
Amazing. Well, thanks, Dad.
His name is Wes.
Thanks, Wes. I appreciate it. I don't know if I went to that premiere or not, but it was fun. I just remember, I was a waiter in the scene, and I don't remember if it was the director, Michael, or if it was Bobby, one of the actors in it. But one of them started calling me Feathers, and it stuck. They credited me as waiter/Feathers, actually.
Do you know how they gave you that nickname?
I wish I could remember where the nickname came from.
Well, who knows with those guys? You know, when I was first credited for the film on IMDb, they gave my character 5 names, and I was like, guys, I think her name's Callie, but, one name would suffice. Those guys, who really knows? But that was something good to be in. And you're also in a movie called Billy and Theodore from around that same time. Can you tell us anything about that film?
Yeah, so Billy and Theodore's buddy of mine I met in college, actually, is probably the first person I ever auditioned for. So he's They see me fall on flat on my face because that's when I had no idea what I was doing, even with auditions. But yeah, Billy and Theodore is great. It's a fun like road trip indie comedy drama about these two best friends. Basically, he's trying to go get his stuff back from his ex-girlfriend's place. They run into me at a bar, and yeah, I get upset that Billy is hitting on my girlfriend, and we end up going out in the parking lot for a little scuffle.
Yes,
So,
you're a hillbilly sort in that movie, aren't you?
yeah, essentially.
I think that you play comedy really well, kind of off the cuff. Like, I don't really think you're trying to be funny. I think you just naturally are.
Oh, well, that's a huge compliment. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's hard for me to say about myself, but thank you. I appreciate that. I do feel like whenever people try to be funny, myself especially, most of the time not funny. If I'm trying to be funny, it's just forced.
Yeah, that's true. There's truth in comedy. Like, if you're telling the truth or saying something that's true, it comes off as funny because it's the truth. So you have acted in so many things, and also you have directed, produced, and written. How did you transition into the production capacity of everything?
I've just been really lucky to work with some extremely talented people who also do like kind of just do everything. You asked me about Haunt Season and
Oh,
Billy and
yeah.
Theodore. Those are two prime examples actually, because those filmmakers, Ronald Short, the writer director of Billy and Theodore, and he was in the film as well and produced it and all kinds of things. And then Jake Jarvie was the writer director of Haunt Season. He also produced and edited. Those guys, like them and Susan Athey, who wrote, directed, produced the Club web series, like all of them, like just being on set with them and seeing their passion for what they were doing and that they were like doing all of these things. And it was just like super inspiring to me. It made me really just want to give it a shot and try making my own things.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's what a person needs, inspiration and a mentor maybe. Do you have any plans to join the Producers Guild or the Directors Guild?
That would be incredible. Yes. Nothing, I don't have that currently on the docket, but one day, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, you joined SAG, and how did you, by the way, if you want to share with our listeners?
Sure. Okay, so the way that works is you have to basically get you have to work on 3 SAG productions to make you eligible to join, or what they call a must join.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this web series called Platoon of Power Squadron that was written and directed by Jake Jarvie, who's also the writer-director of Haunt Season. And that series became a union project, so that got me my first union check mark, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I was in a Campbell's Soup commercial, which got me my second one. And then I was in the Bollywood film Doom 3.
Yes.
My third one, and that was my must join. So that's I think that was around like 2014 or something.
I was going to ask you actually about Doom 3 because I only saw a clip and I liked that, just the very tiny bit that I saw. Can you tell us about that film?
The movie itself is a fun time.
Yeah.
It's part of a franchise that this is super, super summarized, so apologies to anyone if it's a little too summarized. But it's sort of like a Mission Impossible type of movie with a bunch of Bollywood dance sequences in it.
Oh, that's even better than I thought, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a stunt-heavy film with a lot of like really cool dance sequences. That was an interesting experience. I actually went to set as backgrounds, and they auditioned a few people on the spot to like do this. The audition barker is what essentially the role was credited as.
Oh.
They didn't even have dialogue for it. They're like, yeah, just improvise something about like the auditions being closed or whatever. So did that, and then they picked me out of the lineup of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 other people.
Wow, that's great. So you got upgraded on that set from an extra role to a speaking role.
Yeah, upgraded from background to getting my SAG card. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us how you joined the union, and that's really cool to know. You are currently working on a film with Dylan Jost, who played my brother in Broke AF, and he was so awesome and so chill to work with. Can you tell us anything about the movie?
Yeah, I don't know how much I can share, but yeah, just to circle back real quick, I had no idea that you and Dylan were in a thing together. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I think he got cast because he looked like me, or sort of, and he played a real country bumpkin, and I think it went really well. His take on a country guy is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
He always made
Yeah,
me
but yeah,
laugh.
yeah, Dylan's great, and yeah, he's a total sweetheart, that guy. So hi, Dylan, if you're listening. But yeah, what can I tell you about? Our working title is Band of Thieves, and it's about this band that are trying to pull off a heist.
Hmm.
So that's really about as much as I can say right now.
Okay. Is it a
But yeah.
feature or a short?
Well, currently we're developing it as a short, but we'll see what happens with it from there. Because I mean, who knows? I think the idea has room to grow. I think it could become a bigger thing. But we're just starting small to see, just to sort of gauge the interest.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Like a short can shop it around for a bigger project, right? Like you can always expand it if you want to. You guys are great. I am excited for this when it comes out. And if you need funding, let me know. Maybe I could pitch it on my podcast or whatever.
Cool. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
no problem. And this podcast can be listened to on my podcast page, podbean.com or Apple Podcasts. And also, if you want to help us out, go to buymeacoffee.com/goldcoffee and help me keep my pep in my step and keep on interviewing. Are you ready now, Tommy, to play Arnold Schwarzenegger trivia? Can you do your... Yes, 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 yes. I didn't even have to ask for your impression. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's just
I sound Irish when I try to do his accent. I can't do it. I have some ancestry from the Emerald Isles, so that's probably why. I have a question for you for Arnold Schwarzenegger trivia. In this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger shoots and kills an alligator and says, "Your luggage." Is it Eraser, Raw Deal, Kindergarten Cop, or Red Heat?
that's Eraser.
Let's see if you're right.
Your luggage.
You are correct. Hey, that's better.
Yeah.
I didn't sound as Irish, did I?
Oh no, you didn't. It didn't sound Irish at all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. So tell me which movie this is from. This quote: "Moscow's toughest detective, Chicago's craziest cop. There's only one thing worse than making them mad, making them partners."
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh man.
It's not a commonly known Schwarzenegger film, in my opinion.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm blanking on the title, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi.
Oh, Jim Belushi. Oh, that's rad.
And I don't know why I remember this, but there's a scene with like Arnold and a prosthetic leg, and he pours out some cocaine, and he's like, "Cocaine." And,
it's the 80s. I'm not surprised.
Is it Red Heat?
Yes, good job. Awesome. It says, actually, there's a cool fact about this movie. It says, this movie, oh crap, what happened to it? Okay, here it is. It says, this movie featured a car chase, which was, at the time of the film's release, the most expensive car chase scene in cinematic history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that was... I thought maybe the most expensive car chase in cinematic history would have been Blues Brothers. You know how they crashed through a mall? Did you see that movie?
Yeah. That was here in Chicago, right?
Yeah, it was. I think in one of the suburbs. I think the mall was like no longer active and they used it, but I love that movie. Okay, this is probably the easiest question that you're gonna get. I might even be insulting your intelligence to ask you this question. I'm not sure. But in this film, Arnold is leaving a police station, and he says to the policeman, "I'll be back."
Sure.
I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you know this movie.
Oh yeah, it's Terminator.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. And
Yeah.
you'll never guess what it says on the bottom of this. Here's a cool fact about the Terminator. O.J. Simpson was considered for the role of the Terminator.
Yep.
Can you believe that?
Yep. He was originally considered for the Terminator, and James Cameron originally met Arnold Schwarzenegger to play the part of Kyle Reese. But
Oh.
then Arnold, when they had their meeting, Arnold just kept going on and on about how whoever plays the Terminator has to be like a machine, like they can't blink when they're firing off the weapon, and like this, that, and the other. And then James Cameron was just like, well, "Why don't you play the
Oh,
the machine?"
that
And
sounds awesome. Like a German could play that.
yeah,
Yes, I can totally understand. And that's interesting, Tommy. Um, okay. Let me give you a quote from another film of his and tell me if you can guess what the movie is.
okay.
In which film does Arnold say, "Let off some steam, Bennett"?
That is from Commando.
Hey, yeah, you're right. Yes, it is. Good job.
Throws a pipe at him, and all the steam comes out of his midsection through the pipe.
Yes. That is awesome. That's what it says right under it. Like, cool fact about this
Oh, yeah.
movie. Arnold impales Bennett on a pipe. Yes,
That movie stars, his daughter is played by a young Alyssa Milano in that movie.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad. I have always liked her. She's so cool and so pretty. Yeah, that's excellent. That's how she got her start. I wonder if that was before Who's the Boss or at the same time. I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Have to look it up. Speaking of Commando, I'll give you two more questions. The next question is, in the action film Commando, Mr. Schwarzenegger kills his captor before his plane takes off. He then calls a flight attendant and requests that his friend please not be disturbed because...
He's dead tired.
Yes! Good job! Oh my gosh. I feel almost like we should end it at that because for some reason I thought that was a hard answer and you weren't going to get it, but you did. So
Oh, I've seen that movie so many times.
you must have, like, do you feel like any of your acting is influenced by him in any way?
It's funny you ask that because actually, The Sound of Music, my character was Austrian, and
Oh.
I wanted to do it as Schwarzenegger. The line was, "I'm not German, I'm Austrian," and the director was like, "No, that was actually not my best go just then." But yeah, I wanted to do it as like Schwarzenegger, and he was like, "No, he wouldn't let me do it." But
That
but
stinks.
no, otherwise, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I do it like goofing around. Like sometimes when I'm working on an audition, just to like get out of my head, I'll do a take as Arnold,
Oh, that's awesome.
just for, just for fun. Like, but like I don't send that one in, obviously. Like,
It might be better if you did. No, don't listen to me.
yeah, but I don't know. It could be fun. But otherwise, actually, Dylan and we did a thing for a while where it started out on YouTube, and then we changed it to like a podcast where it was called the Chris and Arnie Show.
Oh.
We would just improvise for like 15, 20 minutes, and then I'd edit it down into like a little 5-minute show about whatever theme we decided on. But yeah, I was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was Christopher Walken. So we did that for a little while, and then was it maybe 2 years ago? My buddy Steve and I put on a like holiday variety show,
Mhm.
and Dylan and I reprised our roles as Chris and Arnie to read Was the Night Before Christmas.
That's so rad. Was it live?
Yeah, it was live. We've got video of it up on YouTube as well. It's really it was really goofy. It was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Performing with your friends is so awesome. Like when it's
Yeah,
fun, it's the best performance, I feel like.
yeah, I agree.
Um, Speaking of which, you on your website as an actor are called a few things by different people. Like you're quoted as being an edgy outsider, a sensitive artist. I find you funny. What do you consider yourself, friend, as a performer?
Oh man, yeah, that is a great question.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I'm I feel like a work in progress is the
Oh,
correct answer. Um,
aren't we all?
yeah, I don't know. I feel like all of those things, and like I find myself to be funny sometimes, but I don't know. Um, I don't know, a little bit of everything. Like those sort of brands, if you will, or those words that you mentioned there on my site. Like
Hmm.
I think those are accurate when it comes to like certain roles that I have played so far and can play. But yeah, I think yeah, I like playing comedic stuff too. I
Cool.
like to think that I'm a funny guy, but I mean, some people might disagree. I don't know.
Depends on who you ask, I guess. But
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
have any,
subjective, right?
it is. Everyone has their own choice. I don't know if that's the right word, but everyone has their own decision on what funny is, and it's true. Like, yeah, some people find Jonah Hill funny. Some people find maybe some people even find Arnold funny. Who knows?
Oh yeah, well that's one thing that I think is so great about Arnold in particular is like he leans into that. He knows that people like love his catchphrases and one-liners, so like I love that he just like embraces that.
He really
It's,
does.
yeah,
He's made a fortune off of it, and he does have fun with it, doesn't he?
yeah, he does.
Um, well, so we are going to end with Tommy telling us, if you can think of this, Tommy. I was wondering what your three goals are in the entertainment industry that might help to inspire others who are listening. They can be goals related to your acting, producing, anything you want, even drumming. Just let us know a little bit about how you think of your future.
Oh wow, okay. Wow, that's a big question. I think
I didn't mean to do that necessarily. I just think you have a hopeful future because you're doing so much stuff and it just
yeah.
inspires me personally.
Oh well, thanks. I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you're inspired.
Thank you.
I think I mean ultimately it's sort of a broad answer, but one of the things is like to just keep learning and growing.
Oh, yes.
I feel like what we do is as creatives and as storytellers, like you have to continue to learn and grow because if you don't, you're just going to become stagnant and bored and like you're not going to keep up with like changes in the industry and what's going on. So like
That's
that's
very
that's
true.
one reason that's one reason why I enjoy filmmaking so much too is because like it's a different I mean you have to understand a lot of the same things, but it's a different skill set because like you have to when you show up as an actor, you have a lot of responsibilities to do, right?
Hmm.
To perform the part and everything. But then when you're the director of the thing, you have to have an understanding of every single person on set and what they're doing, and you have to make sure things like run smoothly. And there's just so many more elements, I guess, so many more pieces to the puzzle.
Yes.
Um, which being on many sets in various ways myself, like that was just my film school that taught me how to appreciate all of that stuff.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
yeah, sorry, that's a very long-winded, but yeah, just to keep growing and learning is one.
Hmm.
Um, just in general, specifically as an actor, I'm really been chasing TV, trying to book some TV. I've had a lot of good fortune with independent films and web
Hmm.
series and stuff. But now I'm really trying to like, I'm still doing that, but I'm just trying to gain more ground in TV land.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Um,
May I tell you,
yeah.
I watched the clip from your reel where you played a firefighter, and I feel like that would be a good lead on getting a role maybe on Chicago Fire. I don't know.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
That was from a very fun, a very interesting short a few years back from Eugene Sun Park in Full Spectrum Features.
Oh, cool.
It was all like movement based piece about like so many things, like xenophobia and
Oh,
uh, racism and stuff like that. Very real discussion topic sort of things. But yeah, the I thought the same thing. I I have like I have stills from that shoot of me as a fireman that I like sent to casting, and I was like
Oh, awesome.
constantly like trying to push those photos of like trying to like, hey, look, this is me as a fireman. This is what I look like. Um, I thought the same thing, but for whatever reason, like that didn't happen. But that's
Well,
okay.
well, who knows? Maybe there is something out there for you that's on the horizon, or even something that's better than playing a fireman. You know what I mean? Like TV is large, and all of the streaming services are huge, so there's a lot out there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting too now that like, I've grown my hair out longer since we've had the pandemic and stuff, and I've been getting more very specific roles for auditions and things. Like before, when I had a more sort of short hair conservative look, I was kind of just getting thrown out there with all kinds of stuff,
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
which was great. Like tons and tons of auditions, and now it's like I guess in numbers wise, it's fewer things, but they're more specific things, and a lot of times they're a lot more fun to dive into.
Oh, I bet they
So that's
are. And I
been a
bet,
pretty cool thing to experience.
oh, I bet so. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, I don't know if it's like the delay or what it is. So my fault as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like now you do have a more specific look than you did maybe the first reel of yours that I watched. I think it might have been from 2017. Now your look
Mm.
is much more specific. So that's good that you're like honed in on certain roles only. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's fun, right? Because like the thing, I booked a short out in the Sacramento area, and I went out there in January to film that, and it was like an ex guitarist in a band who's a music store teacher
Oh,
teaching guitar class, and I'm like, I know that like the longer hair helped me get in the door on that one,
oh, I bet for a
just
musician, yes.
at least to get the album. Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, I was going to ask you about that film. How do you, as a Chicago actor, get auditions for California films?
Sure. Well, that one in particular, it was like a local hire sort of situation.
Oh,
Essentially just boils down to like if you don't live there, then you have to self-report to set. Uh, I mean, you have to self-report to set whether you live there or not,
yeah,
but
hopefully.
basically, yeah. So basically, like, it just means they're not paying to fly you in or put you up or nothing.
Oh,
But
I see.
yeah. So I actually found that on Actors Access and submitted for it and got the audition, sent in the audition. My friend Mickey helped me tape it. Thank you, Mickey, if you're listening.
Yeah,
And
thanks, Mickey.
yeah, and then yeah, I booked the thing, and then I flew out there, stayed with a couple friends, for a couple days while I was there. They showed me around the Sacramento area. Had a good time. Oh,
Oh, that's
thank
rad.
thank you, Sasha and Justin, if you're listening.
Yeah, I think it cut out. You said thank you, someone and Justin.
Oh, Sasha and Justin, yeah, they those are my friends who live out there that put me up in their place while I was there.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, good for them. Yeah, that makes it so much easier when an actor can stay with his or her friends. And yeah, I know not all jobs pay travel. And speaking of this, you have, and I noticed that you have an agent in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Um, how do you go about getting work in Atlanta also when you're in Chicago? How does that work?
Well, I haven't booked anything in Atlanta yet, knock on wood. But same kind of thing. I mean, some of the things down there are local hire projects, so it'd be, crash on somebody's couch down there kind of thing.
Hmm.
Which, I've got that already lined up. So whenever that happens, like I've already got it figured out. So,
Oh, that's
but yeah,
awesome.
similar sort of thing, just open line of communication and having a good community of people around, like your friends who understand the industry and what it's like to chase after your dreams and stuff.
Yes. Oh gosh, it's nice to have friends that do. It really is. It's
Yeah,
um
great.
well, I asked you about three goals and you told me one, and I totally understand it if you're getting sleepy and don't want to tell me the other two, but My purpose in this podcast, everyone, just so that you know, is to inspire people to be actors, writers, directors, those who are listening who are new and have questions. How do they get into the industry? Or those who are already in the industry who want more inspiration. It's my total
Sure.
purpose to inspire people and make people glad again about what they're doing. You know, essentially that's what I'm doing.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, to kind of answer both of those things is just make your own stuff, you know? That's another goal of mine too, keep making stuff. I mean, I'm developing the thing with Dylan. I've got a couple other things with irons in the fire that I'm working on getting developed.
Awesome.
But yeah, just you know, shoot a scene with a friend of yours. Write a scene, whatever is on your mind. Like, something I'm very hard about on myself about is that I often try to be a perfectionist when I'm like writing, especially when I'm writing, and that gets in my way a lot. Don't do that. Just write. Just like put out your vomit draft and then come back to it. Like, just do it. You know, because at the end of the day, like if you look, there's a lot of people who they wouldn't be where they are now if they hadn't done that. I mean, even somebody like Jim Carrey, like him and like Tom Shadyac and one of the writers of Ace Ventura, they came together and like wrote that together. Like he made his own stuff, you know.
Oh, wow. I didn't
That's
I didn't
how.
realize that Jim contributed to the writing of that.
Yeah, that the Ace Ventura character actually came out of I forget what the actual character name was before that, but it was something that he did on in Living Color.
Oh.
Uh, I can't remember what the character was on there, but yeah, it was a character he did from there, and then him and Tom Shadyac, I believe it was, they like adapted it into this other character for what became the two movies
No, that's
and the animated TV show. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's great. I didn't know that, and I didn't know that there was a TV show from Ace Ventura.
Yeah, it was like it was a little animated cartoon. It was pretty short lived, I think, but yeah, it was fun. The movies were, you know, I love those movies so much. I quote them all the time.
Oh, I bet you do. Do you have any quotes for us now?
Oh man. Well, I mean, you know, the classic is "Alrighty then."
Yes, of course. Do you ever
Um,
use that in real life? Like when you're like when someone is kind of making you mad, are you like, alrighty then?
I don't know, honestly. I probably have. Uh,
That's awesome. Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
certain I'm certain that I've used I use movie quotes all the time, so I'm certain that I probably have.
that's awesome. Well, to finish up, I would like to say thank you very much to my guest, Tommy Martin, a great actor, director, producer, and writer, and so on. You do so many things. What can we see you in next? What is upcoming that people should watch for on the internet or on the telly? Can you let us know?
Sure. Yeah, I guess I got a couple things. The most recent thing, I just did a bit of hand modeling
Oh,
for
you
Miller
did.
Lite. Yeah, it was so fun. They did a thing for this special edition thing for the last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon,
Oh.
called Beer Tape, and they gave it out. I think it was earlier this week that they gave it out. So they're gone. I think you can enter a sweepstakes to try to win one, but it was an ad promoting that. So it was like me like opening a beer, pouring a beer into this glass that looks like a VHS tape, putting an actual VHS tape into a VCR, and like stuff like that. It was a really fun shoot, but that's out there on the internet. And then otherwise, in the first weekend of May, I'm going to be performing at the Den Theater in two one-act plays as part of the Artistic Homes Cut to the Chase program.
Oh.
It's in their 21st year, and it's like 7 short plays back to back. So they're going to have like 5 world premieres and 2 Chicago premieres at the performances. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so exciting. And would
Yeah,
you,
very.
oh, that's great, Tommy. Do you know, is there an admission for the place?
Yeah, I believe tickets are going to be $20 when they go on sale. I think you can get them at both theartistichome.org and also thedentheater.com.
Nice.
Last I checked, I don't believe they're live yet, but once they are, I'm told that they're supposed to go really fast because they sell those shows out every year.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you, Tommy. Would you like to tell us anything else before we get off the line?
Oh my gosh. Well, I just want to say thank you, Anna. This has been so much fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like I could talk to you for hours. Like we could just keep doing this.
We could. Let's have a long podcast because honestly, I like this and I want it to keep growing and I try to do it naturally. So thank you. That's so nice. Well, if you want, you could share like your third goal with us if you can think of it right now.
Okay. There's a series idea that I've been trying to wrap my head around for years now. It originally started with my friend Hardeep. Her and I started writing this series when we were taking comedy writing classes together at Second City, like years ago.
Oh,
And it's since evolved and changed, and it's been like shelved and like picked back up and shelved again.
oh,
But that's a goal of mine, is I would really like to like focus some time on that and write that and produce like a web series at the very least. If it could grow into something bigger like a TV series, that'd be amazing. But like I just want to get it out there and make it as like even like a web series. Like I think I have somewhere in around 2 to 3 seasons worth of material
wow.
that I've started. I just need to like dive in and like finish all of that.
That's
So
a pretty,
that's a very big goal, a very daunting goal,
that
but it's a very real one.
it is a real one, and you can break it down into small steps, as they say, like the White Stripes song. Have you ever heard that song where they're like, "Be like the squirrel girl, be like the squirrel, oh, 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 oh." It's like, I don't know, Jack White is just he's like, the squirrels break their problems apart, like they break nuts apart. And it's a funny song, but I always think of that in life. I'm like, Jack White gave me very great life advice.
That's great. I love that.
You should listen to that. I'll send it to you.
All right.
But
Cool.
anyway, yeah, good luck and thank you so much for being on my show, Tommy. It's great having you.
Thank you, Anna. I would love to come back anytime. This was so much fun.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
This has been the Golden Hour podcast with your host, Anna Gold. We invite you to come back next time for more laughs, fascinating guests, and most importantly, movie trivia. Think of her next time you watch The Sunset or chug a V8. Don't forget to find her on Instagram and take a peek at her profile on IMDb. Until next time, stay golden.